Hello, peeps. It's the Hillbilly Halfwit. How are you all today? And would you not believe it? I'm not suffering at all. I was drinking some concoctions of rum and all sorts last night, and I'm pretty good today. So I had a cracking time with one of my old mates, Lumper, who I was talking about in some of my tales. We uh, we had a good old laugh. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Right, today we're going to talk about my new favourite MP, Rupert Lowe, and he's given a little video in an interview the other day, and I feel exactly like he does. And I think someday he could well be the leader of reform if something ever happens to Farage. So I think that guy could be our PM one day. So, and also about Peter Mandelson. So let's get going. The content in this video is intended for comedic purposes only. The views expressed in this video are not to be taken as factual information or a representation of my personal beliefs. I'm critically reviewing the info and videos I show as examples. So before we go to that, I'll just say this is a little snippet of an interview from Rupert Lowe the other day. And this guy's going to be a star, I think.
People have let this happen, and I think in a way, I plead with the British people every day. I say to them, don't take this lying down. If you get some petty-minded bureaucrat bossing you around, stand up to them. They're your servant. They're not your master. The state is there to serve the people. It is not there to tell them how to live their lives. But, we've now got to stand up to them. The British people are so polite and so decent-minded and so community-minded that they take a very long time to react. But my message to people listening is, don't take it anymore. You've got to stand up, and if you see something that's wrong, challenge, and keep challenging.
Brilliant. I really like this guy. We're going to see that again. That's exactly how I feel.
People have let this happen, and I think in a way, I plead with the British people every day. I say to them, don't take this lying down. If you get some petty-minded bureaucrat bossing you around, stand up to them. They're your servant. They're not your master. The state is there to serve the people. It is not there to tell them how to live their lives. But, we've now got to stand up to them. The British people are so polite and so decent-minded and so community-minded that they take a very long time to react. But my message to people listening is, don't take it anymore. You've got to stand up, and if you see something that's wrong, challenge, and keep challenging.
That's exactly how I feel. That's how I feel about it all. That guy is correct. So I feel like you are, like I said in The Prisoner, I'm not a number. You can't control me. I can do what I want. I have my own thoughts and my own individual rights. Challenge. We got a ruling class at the moment who think they have the God's given right to tell us all what to do, and they haven't. Not in law, they haven't. They think they have, but that's going to change very shortly when we push them out. So this is quite interesting. I found the black hole. 3 billion to Ukraine, 11.6 billion to African climate aid, 8.6 billion on GB energy, 10 billion on public sector wage hikes, 100 million on train driver wage hikes, 7 million a day putting migrants up in hotels. There's your black hole that's been invented, and we're all paying for it. So here's quite an interesting one. Sue Gray, I think, as an establishment, she removed the previous government with Boris, whatever you think of him. She was at the head of that spear. Then she moved to Kier Starmer. And she was at the head of the spear again when they came to government. And then she went, but now she's going into the House of Lords. But these lot said they were going to stop the House of Lords. Oh, that's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? Another lie again. So Starmer to appoint 30 Labour peers to swing House of Lords. Sue Gray expected to be on top of the list of those elevated to upper chamber to significantly outnumber any additional Tories. Whatever you think of the Tories, this top civil servant is a backstabber. On the right there, she's a wrong un, and she's been rewarded for removing Boris, in my opinion. Her son is now a Labour MP, and these two together, they are the ruling class. Now, there's some interesting little snippet I found as well. Look at this here. Who's that? Who's that? Who do you think that is? As a teenager, Starmer went to study about communist work camps behind the Iron Curtain, how the people could be controlled. This is the evil we are dealing with. At one point, he was on the Secret Service list. So there we are. I'm not 100% sure if that is true, but that looks very legit to me. And it seems very legit. And also, that same lady has been helping him. I did a video on this ages ago where she's alleged to have been a spy, and she had to say it she wasn't. But what the premises was, she bought a pub on the border in Ireland and was alleged to have been doing some stuff with the security services, with spies and whatever. But all alleged, of course. So these two wrong uns here are working for the very people that are trying to control us all. Once you see through it, you can't unsee it. And this is the other one. This is going to be the ambassador from the UK to America, Peter Mandelson. If you're not very old, he was as bent as a 9-bob note in more ways than one. And when he was in Blair's government, and he's been very close to Jeffrey Epstein. So a bank report details Peter Mandelson's apparent contact with Jeffrey Epstein. JP Morgan report from 2019 found Epstein seemed to keep a particular close relationship with Labour peer. Oh, there we are. Look, he's in a photo on his boat. Both of them, look. Jeffrey Epstein and male friend in 2006 on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Lord Mandelson visited Epstein Island, travelled to Paris with Epstein for his birthday, after the latter had already been convicted for trafficking and was due to stay at Epstein's New York townhouse while Epstein was in jail. And where was Andrew? He was around there that time as well, wasn't he? He's a fantastic pick for government, isn't he? And while we're on it, this, if you're in my age, you'll know this already, but they basically, when Labour got into government into 2000s, they decided to bring in migration on a massive scale. So this was out of his book, I think he did. Immigrants, we sent out search parties to get them to come and made it hard for Britons to get work, says Mandelson. Former minister admits Labour deliberately engineered mass immigration. Labour sent out search parties for immigrants to get them to come to the UK, Lord Mandelson had admitted. In a stunning confirmation that the Blair and the Brown governments deliberately engineered mass immigration, the former cabinet minister and spin doctor said New Labour sought out foreign workers. He also conceded that the influx of arrivals meant the party's traditional supporters are now unable to find work. By contrast, Labour leader Ed Miliband has said his party got it wrong on immigration and has refused to admit it was too high under Labour. Lord Mandelson's remarks come 3 years after Labour officials denied claims by former advisor Andrew Neither that they deliberately encouraged migration in order to change the makeup of Britain. Mr. Neither said the policy was designed to rub the right's nose in diversity. He said there was a drive-in political purpose, that mass immigration was the way that the government was going to make the UK truly multicultural. Senior Labour figures have been reluctant to concede they deliberately engineered the influx of migrants who have transformed communities over the past decade. But at a rally for the Blairite think tank Progress, Lord Mandelson said in 2004, when as Labour government, we were not only welcoming people to come to this country and work, we were sending out search parties for people and encouraging them in some cases to take up work in this country. He said the problem has grown during the period of economic stagnation over the last 5 to 6 years. So there it is in black and white. There it is. So that's a video today. They're all crooked. All of them are crooked. They're all working for the ruling class to try and keep us down. And once you see through it, you can't unsee it, as I say to you. So there's that red pill and the blue pill, isn't there? Take the red pill, have a look, and then you see through it all. Basically, as Rupert Lowe said at the start, we're supposed to be in charge, not them. And they seem to think they're in charge. Well, they are not. And I think we're going to show them that we're not in the next few years, because they've gone too far now and the pitchforks are out. So please subscribe down below. Really helps me out. Doesn't cost you anything. Just press that subscribe button, like and share, and have a good Christmas. All the best, Gaz.